Thank you so much to Time and Space for sorting me out with a copy of Gothic Instruments Sculptor 1 Live Impacts. This is a new series from Gothic Instruments from the developers of Dronar, which I covered in the very first Samplecast show. That seems like a long time ago. The sounds here have been sourced from fire, wood, metal and explosive effects, and the raw material has been processed by Hollywood sound designer Alessandro Camnasio. Here you've got just over 1/4 of a gigabyte of sounds. It runs in the full version of Contact, and basically it's an impact and smash designer, perfect for trailer scoring and effects, that kind of thing. There are 3 main sections of the interface to assign sounds to. So you've got a pre-whoosh section, an impact section, and the last one is for decay. You can assign these sounds yourself, or you can use the randomize button too. And all of those sounds route through to the effects panel, which includes drive, compression, filter, delay, and reverb. I do like a library that's priced realistically, and this is definitely the case here. The price is reasonable, I think, for the content and flexibility that you get within the Contact interface itself. There's some clever mapping here as well. The keyboard keys are duplicated so that you can do multiple hits, and you've got gating keys towards the top of the keyboard to enable you to kind of give that Transformers effect if you program some fast gating notes into those key switches. I also thought the velocity control programming was rather clever. You can adjust the volume and filter by playing at different velocities. Also, the snapshots that are included are expansive. There's lots of them, some by some composers that you'll have heard of. There's nothing at all wrong with the interface and how this instrument performs. It's very good, very competent. There's only a few things that I think could be improved. Firstly, the pitch and pan controls, I think they should be individual for the individual parts of the sound. It would have been nice to have a high-pitched rise and then a low-pitched impact, or vice versa. You couldn't seem to do that on the interface as far as I could gather. Of course, you could assign those 2 different sections of the sound to 2 different keys, but that's a little bit more work than I was prepared to put in. On the subject of that interface, it is a little bit distracting. There's a big animation that plays across the whole interface every time you trigger a sound. I can see some people are really going to love it and really give a kind of visual impact to the sound that they're creating. But me personally, I've just found it a little bit distracting. The last thing I would have liked was the option to download maybe the raw sample content, so just some WAV or AIFF files to drag and drop into my projects that were using sound effects. They'd have been quite useful without having to go through the Contact interface. Sculptor Volume 1 does a very specific thing, but it does that thing really well. And aside for the points that I've mentioned, which, as I say, they're just really personal preference, I think this is a library that, for those that are doing really powerful trailers, are going to want to pick up straight away. Thank you so much for watching. That's just a small taste of the Samplecast, a weekly podcast and YouTube show for sample library geeks and plugin enthusiasts. You can find out more information at thesamplecast.com. Don't forget to subscribe.